And how did remember TS Medicine when she used to be like, is we live? When she used to be with was that when she used to be with Kaya? Is we live?
We still do it. Is we live, boys? Is we
Yes,
live?
yeah. Oh my gosh. But yes, we are live. And good morning, Sislo. Thank you for joining me so early in the AM. It's still dark here in Omaha, Nebraska. The sun hasn't even risen yet. And I thought I would be on here by myself early in the AM. So thank you for joining me this morning.
No problem. I don't even hear the chickens in my backyard.
Girl. And you know what? I used to be in a neighborhood where there were chickens in the neighborhood. Even though we live in the city, we still have some areas where chickens are allowed and pigs and things like that, horses. But yeah, it's real quiet over here this morning. Good morning to everybody who's coming into the chat room. Welcome to the live. It is so early, y'all, but I wanted to get this live out the way before I started working today, and then I have my grandbaby later this evening. So, and then with Sislo, she's going to go live herself actually as well later on this evening. So we're going to let her at the end of our show tell us what her live is going to be about later on this evening, so we can support her, and I'll be dropping her link as well. But as you can see from the title of the video here, we're going to be discussing two different cases of murders. One of them is local. One of them is not local. The one that happened in Mexico with Shanquella Robinson, and then one here locally with DaeTiauna Kellogg. So first off, for those of you guys who might not be familiar with the story here, uh, of DaeTiauna out of Omaha, Nebraska. DaeTiauna, she basically it was a murder. And it was on November 6th. It was in the wee hours of the morning, around like 2:30 a.m. There was a shooting around 49th, excuse me, around 49th in Miami, which is in North Omaha, kind of close to Midtown, but north of Saddle Creek. And it happened in the wee hours of 2:30 a.m. And after that happened, when she was shot around that time of the morning, she had went to the hospital. Somebody had took her to the hospital, but she ended up passing away. And so, of course, her family and friends and community, has been, hoping that the police could come up with some suspects, somebody responsible for her murder, especially the family. I have people related to her. I don't know the young lady myself, but she was a 20-year-old young woman, beautiful woman. And again, she died on the 6th, early in the wee hours of the morning on Sunday, which was in November. I'm going to show a little video here because there were two suspects who the police did end up putting out the information for on the local news, and they've been requesting people, anybody who has any type of information, to please come forward. And like I always say, we know, especially if you're from the hood, when things like this happen and stories like this happen and the police are seeking information, some people just don't feel safe coming forward. So there's always a Crime Stoppers number that people can call. You can always do an anonymous tip just in case you don't feel, or you're a little leery of, letting them know who you are. So if anybody knows anything, please reach out to the Omaha police. Use the anonymous tip line if you don't want to come public. But let me play this little video clip. I'm gonna show a couple of videos, and then we're gonna move on to the next subject. But I had to go. I had to at least do an update on this local news first, because we haven't done a lot of local news lately when it comes to Omaha, Nebraska. And this is a sensitive topic for a lot of people in our community, not just because she was young, but the young lady, she had, like, oh my gosh, she had probably a very prosperous future. She had a child, a 5-year-old child. She had lots of friends and family who love her. And it's really sad because one of the people who I saw post on Facebook about her is like a really, really, really good friend of mine that I grew up with, and that happened to be her niece. So I do want to show some attention to this public story in our local neighborhoods. So let me go ahead and pull this up real quick for you guys. Hopefully you can hear it okay. And I'm going to hit mute just so you guys can hear it more clearly.
Dies this morning after a woman dies.
By the way, this is the first news story that came out right after the murder of DaeTiauna. So I'm going to show you a video clip right after the murder happened. Then I'm going to show you a little video clip of the updates, just so people know the backstory.
This morning after a shooting at 49th Avenue in Miami. You can see the police crime scene tape blocking the roads in that area early this morning. Medics took the woman to the hospital around 2:30 this morning where she passed away. Omaha police are investigating this as a murder. If you know anything, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers.
Okay, so I showed you guys a little news clip of when it first happened, and now I'm going to show you guys a news clip of the recent transactions, because there has again been two suspects that have been charged, or that they're trying to charge, and one of them they have in custody, but the other one is still out there. So we're going to watch this next news clip. Let me pull it up here real quick. Can y'all see that okay?
Omaha police have arrested a man for first-degree murder and are searching for another person in the same case. Police arrested 22-year-old Cameron Foster for first-degree murder. He's accused of shooting and killing 20-year-old DaeTiauna Kellogg near 49th in Miami. Officers also issued an arrest warrant for 18-year-old Keanu Lewis. He's described as being 5'9" tall, 130 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. If you know where he is, call Crime Stoppers at 402-444-STOP.
So those are the two suspects that the police had put out to the community. Again, one of them has been arrested. The other one, now this was as of yesterday when this news story came out. So one of them has been arrested, and one of them is still out there. They're still looking for him. I'm going to read a little few posts here that I have seen about this guy. Now, the one that was arrested was 22-year-old Cameron Foster. The one that's still out there is Keanu Lewis. If you have any information, again, please contact the Omaha police. There's a lot of people who is really looking for justice for the murder of DaeTiauna Kellogg. They don't know why she was murdered. They don't know if it was accidental, if it was, I hate to use the term. I really hate to use the term wrong place, wrong time. You know what I mean, Sis Lo? It's kind of like wrong place, wrong time. Still, whether it was accidental or whether it was purposely done, wrong place, wrong time. I really hate to use that comment when it comes to people being murdered.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. More
hey,
like wrong, right?
Go ahead, babe. I'm sorry.
I said more like wrong place, bad timing.
Yeah, because it's like, how could you be in the wrong place if you're where you're supposed to be and you're not up to no good and you're doing whatever it is you're supposed to be doing? That's why I hate when people say wrong place, but
yeah, it's like the right place at the wrong time.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay. Yeah, I like that one better. And hey, Maurice, long time no see. He always pops up every now and then. I think he just does that to surprise us.
That's I think the Salat family stone in the right place, but it was at the wrong time. Go ahead. Good morning, Maurice.
Go, child. We love your singing, shoot. But yeah, that was a short little update of what has been going on in our city. It has been a lot of shootings in Omaha lately, and a lot of the shootings are senseless. A lot of the shootings are senseless crimes. In the case of this one right here, though, I did read somewhere where one of my I'm not going to say their name, but one of my Facebook friends, they had made a post because of the fact that his spouse had some type of relationship with that family, with that 20-year-old. So one of the suspects, that the mother had tried to get help for her son. And sometimes we can try to get help for these children because both of them were very, very young. Sometimes, we can give help to these children, and sometimes we just gotta leave it up in the God's hand, because you can raise a child up right. You can raise a child up in church. You could, have mentors for the child and everything, and sometimes they still just turn out to be a bad seed. But what this person had put on their Facebook, they said, and that's as far as the youngest boy, the one that they're looking for, the youngest one. They said, as far as him, let me make sure I read it word for word. Okay. They said, so I've never been above reproach, correction, criticism, or if someone disagrees with my stance. From my original post, I got texts, calls, inboxes. I hate to hear this young man was never given a legitimate chance, which ultimately ended up in my wife's cousin losing her life. To my understanding, this young man's mom asked for help with him. Clearly, she didn't get it. What could have been done to prevent this situation? And that's why I say, after reading that post, a lot of us, we know people who come from good families, good backgrounds, and they end up with these children who they just can't control, they can't correct, they can't, handle, and they reach out for help. Sometimes it's too late, and sometimes it's just out of our hands. We gotta leave it up to God. So with this particular child, they say his mother reached out for help. They say she didn't get it. This is all, hearsay. So I don't know the true story behind this child, but I do hope that the police find him and that they bring him in, and that this young, beautiful young lady can get some type of justice for her family and friends. So that's all I have to say about that case. I'll keep you guys updated as this progresses. Hopefully, again, like I said, they'll get that other suspect caught and find out, like, what happened, like, why. Was there a why? Was this an accident? Or, like, Cicelo said, right place, wrong time. Now, moving right along, you guys. Moving right along. It's Shanquella Robinson. Cicelo. I know we was talking about this a little bit before we went live. I know we talked about this a little bit last week. I still cannot fathom my friends, cousins, anybody doing what they did to this beautiful young lady, Shanquella Robinson. And of course, a lot of people have been discussing it. If anybody sleeping under a rock, a very beautiful young Black lady by the name of Shanquella Robinson was murdered on a trip with her so-called besties, best friends, good Judies, good friends, comrades, whatever you want to call them. She was on a trip, on a vacation that I heard that she allegedly paid for. I also heard that her bank account or her credit cards was used after her murder by these people, allegedly, that were on a trip with her. From what we know so far, she was found murdered in her living room in her hotel. Her friends at first told the police that it was because of alcohol poisoning. She had got drunk, she got alcohol poisoning, whatever, passed out, died, whatever. But then they came to the conclusion that this was, in fact, a murder. And so ever since that she was murdered, people have been speculating, okay, who exactly murdered her? Which one of these so-called friends murdered her? We did see a video that I don't want to play. As a matter of fact, Cicelo, she's never watched the video because she just can't watch the video. And I totally understand why you don't want to watch the video, because it is kind of hard to watch, but I had to watch it. because of the simple fact that I wanted to do some commentary on it, and I really needed to see what they were doing to this young lady. And they said that her spine was damaged, her upper spine was damaged. And when we was talking about this last week, I was telling Sislo and Bro and whoever was in that panel that when I was watching that video, I could tell exactly when her spine got damaged. When they were flinging her around, and they flung her around so hard, and her back, you could tell her back had hit the post of the bed, and she fell on the floor.
Yeah.
And I could tell exactly when her spine got damaged. Now, I'm not no forensic, I'm not no doctor, I'm not no medical examiner, but you could really see it. And then as far as lately, there has been some updates into this case. Let me see what Maurice is saying. I feel you, Maurice. He said I'm not soft by a long shot, but the interview with her daddy broke me down. It did. It's really sad. You know, it hurts a mother and a father when they lose a child, but we know how some females are so close to their dads. Like they're really close to their dads. And when a dad finds out his child has been injured, hurt, assaulted, anything like that, sometimes they will go to the end of the world to get justice for their child. And he definitely sounds like somebody who would do that for his daughter. But I'm going to show you guys this video, this update. I just saw it the other day, just in case somebody has not saw it. And Sislo, I don't know if you saw it too, but you probably have because you be up on everything too. All right, here we go. And then we're going to discuss it a little bit. Oh, and then Maurice also said, I think that was a gay dude beating her. Okay, we gonna get on that next, boy. We gonna get on that next because you know who been getting a lot of backlash about what she had to say about that, right, Sislo?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let me go ahead and play this video for you guys, and also we have to make sure that we Sislo didn't even remind me, child, Sislo. Yeah, make sure we show our copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use. Criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, blah, 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 blah. Okay.
But
colon cancer doesn't run in my family, but my family is why I started screaming at 45. I asked to get screened with Kellogg.
Sorry about the commercial, you guys.
nothing like a good colon commercial early in the morning, you know.
Issuing an arrest warrant related to the investigation into the mysterious death of a 25-year-old American tourist last month.
Justice will be served.
Officials in Mexico issuing an arrest warrant related to the investigation into the mysterious death of a 25-year-old American tourist last month.
Justice will be served.
The news comes days after Shanquella Robinson's family and friends celebrated her life in North Carolina, where she's from.
She was just excited about going on her trip. And she sat in my chair. We just talked about a lot of personal stuff. Like, we just clicked like she was like my little sister.
For weeks, her family and friends demanding answers. The FBI and Attorney General's office in Mexico even opening separate investigations.
There cannot just be an unopened situation. It has to be closed with truth, and it has to be that there is accountability for those who are responsible for her death.
At first, her family was told she had died of alcohol poisoning, but days later, an autopsy report painting a very different and brutal picture. Her family says Robinson and 6 others arrived in the popular Mexican city on October 28th for a vacation. Less than 24 hours later, she was dead. A video circulating on social media appears to show her being beaten in a hotel room. NBC News is not showing it. because we cannot independently confirm its authenticity.
Everybody that have children, either it's a son or a father or a daughter or anything, it make you want to just get down on your knees and pray for this family and then pray for the protection over your own children.
FBI Charlotte told NBC the video was referred to its office, but declined to answer further questions about it. And now her death certificate highlighting that discrepancy. Her cause of death listed as severe spinal cord injury and atlas luxation, which is instability in the uppermost vertebrae. The document also says Robinson was found unconscious in her living room. Her death sparking outrage on social media after the video, which we have yet to verify, and the report became public using the hashtag Justice for Shanquella.
We have got to talk about the Shanquella Robinson case.
The Shanquella Robinson story is disgusting.
Justice for Shanquella Robinson.
And Kyrie Irving even donating $65,000 to her family's GoFundMe page to help pay for her funeral costs. Now, the Baja California Sur Attorney General's office says it obtained an arrest warrant against, quote, the likely person responsible for the events that caused Robinson's death, citing that it was, quote, a direct attack, not an accident. But for her community, she'll be remembered beyond her tragic death.
She was a very humble spirit, very sweet girl.
Stephen Romo joins us now. Stephen, only one arrest warrant has been issued in the death of Miss Robinson. What more do we know?
Yeah, and that leaves a lot of questions in this case. Of course, Shanquella was on this vacation with 6 other people. Mexican authorities are saying that one of her friends seems to be responsible, but they're not naming that person who's listed on this warrant. We know the FBI is looking into this as well. They have not commented on that Mexican warrant, also not yet saying if there could be other charges coming in this case.
Wow.
Wow. Like, why? Okay. One person arrested?
One out of all of them. If you want to be honest with you, if that was within the state, every last one of them would have probably been arrested because they would have been
You got a lot of feedback, boo. A lot of feedback. Something moving around or something.
Oh, is that better?
Yes.
So, if they were within the states, I think that all of them probably would have been arrested for being conspirators of it and withholding evidence and, stuff like that, and then avoiding prosecution and all of those. I mean, they probably could have a number of things, but morally, who could witness something like that?
I couldn't.
And then go on to enjoy your life like nothing happened, or try to play it off like nothing ever happened. Like you going right on about your business and doing what you would normally do on a regular day, as if, this family isn't hurting or have questions. And then this video comes out. Like, who had the balls to leak it in the first place? I mean,
it has to be the guy who was recording. And like you said, Mexico has been receiving a lot of heat from us over here because of the fact of what happened. Like, they was over there, they was together, she passed away, they lied. There's a videotape of somebody beating her. And then on top of that, her credit cards were stolen and used to go on a shopping spree. So why is it only one person been arrested and they don't want to release that information? I don't understand. Like, all of them should be back over there. All of them should be back over there to be properly interviewed.
And this is the thing with what I find with a lot of those countries that are within the confines of the United States, but not necessarily, you know, they still have their own government and not necessarily government, but police authorities and things like that. They don't want the cost of prosecuting citizens. They don't want they just don't want the heat of it all. They rather you go back to the States and deal with it over there. When you think about, I hate to bring this up, but the Nature Boy situation, just remember when they were when they were in Honduras, when they were in Mexico, when they were in Hawaii, every time they got in trouble, they sent them back to the mainland because they want the mainland to have to deal with it. They don't want to take their manpower, their energy, or anything else. Now, had it happened in a country like Japan or Russia or something, they would have not only got stiffer penalties, but they would have Brittany Griner the situation.
Thank you. And I just want to let people know that they did say, for the people who just coming in, they did say an arrest warrant has been issued in the death of Shanquella Robinson, the Charlotte woman killed while vacationing in Mexico. And the prosecutor for the state of Baja California, Daniel de la Rosa Anaya. I hope I'm saying your name right, sir. But he had said that a friend of Robinson's, who they believe is the direct aggressor, is the one being sought by international authorities on charges of femicide, and which is basically a murder of a female. They said basically the case is fully clarified. We even have a court order. There is an arrest warrant issued for the crime of femicide to the detriment of the victim and against an alleged perpetrator who is a friend of hers who is the direct aggressor. And they said actually it wasn't a quarrel. It was a direct aggression. So that tells us they weren't even like arguing or beefing.
It was intentional.
Yep. And they said we're carrying out all pertinent procedures, such as the Interpol alert and the request for extradition to the United States of America. It's about 2 Americans, the victim and the culprit. But again, they still have not identified who they are trying to arrest. Which I'm like, okay, if they looking for this person, they in Mexico. We over here in America. You know how many places this person could hide or try to travel to, but y'all don't want to say the name?
But that person has a passport, ID, has to travel under something. So, the feds have a way to trace everything.
But I'm still like, why can't we know though? They might be able to find the person quicker if they put out their name and put out the actual picture of who we looking for.
Well, at this point,
we'll see everybody's faces who were involved. You know what I mean?
Right.
There were 5 friends, right?
So at this point, they probably are not releasing the name, so to make it easy to apprehend the person. Because if everybody think it's everybody else, then nobody really know who needs to run.
They better start talking, because I'm telling you, they better start talking, because when that person do get arrested, because you can clearly see, right, Sislo, that she was intoxicated. You can clearly see that. Before they started beating on her, she just seems like she was just kind of out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a lot of people are saying, did they really like lead this girl over there or bring her over there to allegedly pay for all of their vacation expenses just to kill her? Like, why take her over there to kill her? Why go through that? Why go that extreme route to take her in Mexico? Like, Mexico, I would rather get charged over here than to get charged in Mexico for a crime. Like, who do you know in Mexico? Who can be there for you in Mexico? Ain't nobody traveling back and forth to Mexico to visit you in prison. You know what I mean?
You're right.
But I don't know. And how much money did they say was spent on her credit cards?
I can't tell you anything because this is a trigger situation for me. It's like I see the pictures. I saw some. I just can't. I just can't. It's one of those things. On a holiday, I would have been like totally taken aback by it. So
yeah, like just imagine if this was your daughter, says Flo. And I don't have a daughter, but even your son. Even your son.
Or I just,
And then the fact that they said she, after being beaten, after suffering from a spinal cord injury, they said she was still alive for 3 hours.
Watched her
before help arrived. So for 3 hours, she sat there, laying there, suffering. And these are your friends. I don't need no new friends. I don't need friends like that.
That's why I said all of them should have been charged.
Hey, good morning, Betty White. Hey, boo. Betty said they set her up that day, told her they were going skinny dipping in the pool. That's why she was the only one naked. It's just inconceivable.
They made her vulnerable on purpose.
And got her intoxicated. Yep. Because who's to say she probably drinks before? You know, some people are probably already, drinkers, even if it's just special occasion. You know, some people just drink, socially or whatever. But who knows if something was put in her drink, if her drink was spiked. For them to say alcohol poisoning, it could have been something put in her drink for them to say it was spiked and then try to pass it on as, we're here, we're in a different country. You know how it goes in some different countries. Some people do spike people's alcohol to tourists to do something to them. So they probably tried to put it off as one of those situations, but I'm glad they do have somebody that they're trying to arrest for this situation, for this matter. I can't wait to find out which one it was. Maurice said he think it was the gay dude who was beating her. I don't know, because that the person who they said was beating her, I couldn't really tell if that was. They said it was a gay person. They said it was a trans. They said it. Then come to find out it wasn't a trans and it was a man. And so I don't know. But
how did her boyfriend get involved?
Huh?
How did her boyfriend get involved?
Hold on, let me read. Let me read. Child. Betty White, where you been? I ain't seen you in the month of Sundays. She said, yeah, that other girl, Winter, is talking. The one that body slammed her. Yeah, that girl, Winter, is talking. Oh, she's talking? Okay. So do you think that's the one? So you think it's Winter? I just don't understand why they only arrested one person. That's my thing. Yeah, we saw one person beating her on that video, but who's to say others weren't earlier or after? Because they could have been fighting. They could have been beating up on her. And then, it's on the news. Hold up. Breaking news. Hold on. Let me hit mute. It's on the news, y'all. Good morning, America, right now. Hold on. Let me hit mute so I can see what they're saying. Okay, they said they're looking for a woman. So it's definitely a woman that they're looking to extradite. It's on Good Morning America right now. Are y'all watching this?
This morning, a potential legal limbo as Mexican prosecutors seek to extradite an acquaintance.
I don't want to have it up too loud. But hey, what's up, Ocean Waves? Mm-hmm. They kind of got the face blurred out, kind of. But yeah, so it is a woman. So it might be who Betty was saying, Winter. Hey, what's up? You said on your way to sleep. Ocean Wave TV, you said just speaking on my way to sleep. Well, good morning and good night. That is my fellow Omaha YouTuber from where I'm from, a local Omaha YouTuber, Ocean Waves. Y'all check out his channel. He be discussing different topics, trending news, local news. He's also in different sectors than I am. I don't know a lot of the people over there, but I did see he has shared a post from Misunderstood. So you follow Misunderstood too, Ocean Waves? See, the sector he in, I think, is like another type of beef sector than the sector we tend to bounce around in over here. I think it's a different sector, but it's pretty comparable to the beef sector because they be over there beefing and dragging and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I saw him share a post of Misunderstood. I was like, what he know about Misunderstood? But anyway, anything else you want to say about this topic, young lady, before we wrap up our little morning coffee chit chat?
Waiting for it to unfold, and
Yeah.
I reserve my opinions and whatnot until then, but it's very heartbreaking, I'm a very protective mom.
Me too.
I'm a doting mom. How I feel about my kids and my grandkids. So to see anything, I just can't. This breaks my heart. And I have a soft spot for North Carolina. My baby was born in North Carolina, so I have a soft spot for North Carolina.
I feel you. I understand. A lot of people are really, really heartbroken about this because I'm looking for the story to unfold as well. I mean, we can talk about this, we can discuss it and discuss the updates and everything, but it's still like, why? Was it just to take advantage of her and rob her? I mean, we need the why. And that's the same thing with the earlier story that I discussed with you guys, a local news story that I discussed with you guys. Some people might not have heard of it, but that was the DaeTiauna murder, DaeTiauna Kellogg murder that happened here in November in Omaha, Nebraska. So we did discuss some updates on that this morning as well. 2 suspects. One of them has already been taken in. The other suspect still is, out there somewhere. So again, if anybody knows information about either one of these cases, please contact the authorities. And they do have hotlines for people who want to remain anonymous. But Sislo, please give us a little tidbits of what you're going to be discussing later tonight on your show so that people can tune in. And which channel will it be so I can share the link?
It will be on Newsworthy.
Okay, you chit chat about it real quick, and then I'm going to look for your link.
Okay, so basically, I will be speaking with a childhood friend who was assaulted by an individual who was later let go by police because of his mental state. But um, he's a little disturbed because the young man is out, no family members, no one to really oversee the situation because of his mental state. But at the same time, he's out to be able to do what he did to him to someone else. So we're kind of going to talk about the state of mental health in the United States and um, how it's linked to a lot of the mass shootings, attacks on random people, and things like that. And why isn't there being anything done about it? Or what more could be done about it? So we kind of going to touch on that tonight at about 7 o'clock.
Okie dokie. You heard it, y'all. You heard it, y'all. We're gonna be supporting Sislo tonight. I did drop her link in the chat. Thank you, Betty. She said she subbed. We're gonna be supporting Sislo tonight around 7 p.m. and that is 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for her. So 6 p.m. Central Standard Time for people in my neck of the woods. And I did drop her chat, her link to Miss Sislo Newsworthy Updates. I also dropped the link for Ocean Waves TV. Ocean Waves TV supports this channel. We are both two local Omaha YouTubers, and he's always sharing out our videos and everything and sending his peeps over here. So please check out both of their channels and subscribe and give them some clicks and views. And you know what? Give us a little update before we run out of here. Sislo, you had brought this to my attention. The story, the exclusive interview we had about a week or so ago with a young lady who had her car trashed and vandalized for months in her apartment complex parking lot. Her name is Quatisha Valentine from Omaha, Nebraska. She did an exclusive with We Were one of the first, because the only other people she spoke to besides that was the news, our local news. And that was, how the news story is. They show you about 30 seconds of an interview. But I want to say we had the first exclusive interview with her. But it was, her car was vandalized and trashed by a police officer, a local Omaha police officer, who she ended up catching on videotape after months and months and months of trying to figure out who kept vandalizing and trashing her car. Kind of find out it was a police officer. She caught him on camera going to the dumpster, taking bags and bags of trash and just dumping it on her car. And after he did it, he walked away like ain't shit happened. Then when she approached him after she saw the video, because she was watching him live when he was doing it, and after she saw him walk away to go into their building, she took flight. She ran like FloJo down the stairs, skipped the elevator, and approached him about it and asked him, why you just trashed my car? That's been you all this time. And he just was like, not talking to her, not trying to say anything to her, just kept walking. And, he eventually was arrested and charged, and he ended up resigning. He didn't even get the chance to be fired. He ended up resigning. But you had told me earlier this morning that she had been on Roland.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
She was on Roland Martin, a very popular journalist from the DC area who was also the news anchor for TV One. Roland Martin does a lot with the political arena, a lot of things with the HBCUs. He has a whole media outlet on his channel, and she and her attorney were being interviewed. And not only Tanya did, at first, they were speaking about how he was on administrative leave. But before he was able to be fired, he resigned. And at this point, he still has his credentials and he can go work for another agency. another police agency. And so he's not been stripped of any of his credentials at this point. So it's still pending.
He didn't even get a chance to be fired. But still, I can't believe that they're going to allow him to be in another precinct.
Yeah, well, not necessarily with Omaha police.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He can't work here anymore, but at another precinct somewhere else.
Suburbs department, something like that, or another state even. So you never know. But unless he's prosecuted, stripped of his credentials, then it will become serious for him. But yeah, the whole case made Roland Martin, honey. So listen, Hood Table always getting the first exclusive on some good stuff,
Yes, honey. We be trying to snatch him up. And yes, hey, Carrie. Hey, beautiful. I just shared Carrie's YouTube channel link too as well. Make sure you guys hit up Carrie's channel. She discussed all type of topics, including the beef sector as well. But yes, it was a white cop. It was a white cop who was doing that to a young black lady in our city, his own neighbor in his own apartment complex. Yeah, they didn't even get a chance to fire him. He resigned, but it has made local news. It has made national news, and Roland is discussing it on his channel. Then yeah, it's a really big story. It's a huge story, to say the least. Even though it wasn't no murder, it wasn't nothing like that. But for a local cop living in your own apartment building and you going months and months, like, who's egging my car? Who's trashing my car? Who's destroying my car? And the apartment complex even allegedly had him living there for free because of the fact that he was a police officer, as if he was like maybe some free security, extra security made people feel comfortable living there or something. When he the whole time was like the villain, he was like the suspect, he was like harassing her and destroying her property and vandalizing and trashing her car for all those months. And she had kept asking the apartment building, what's wrong with the cameras? Why the cameras ain't working? And they was like, oh, the cameras just don't show that part of the parking lot. Come to find out, the camera was pushed down a certain way, so it wouldn't show that area of the parking lot. So she installed her own cameras, and she was like, every time she would get an alert near her car, she would check out the video. And that's how she caught him on camera vandalizing and trashing her car. And it could have went any type of way, because a white police officer got a gun. He's allegedly racist, which I can definitely believe. From what I've heard, I can believe that. It wouldn't be far-fetched. And her, a black young lady, approaching a police officer, sweating him about what she just saw, it could have totally went a different way. You know what I mean? So, yep. And so there's a GoFundMe out there. I attached her GoFundMe with our interview, exclusive interview that we did. So if you're interested in that exclusive interview, her name is Quatisha. And let me put the link down here for our exclusive interview. If you want to check out that exclusive interview and find a link to her GoFundMe, because she did have to move. She wanted to move immediately once her family and friends found out that the police officer was the one who was doing this to her for months. Who wants to still live in an apartment complex, right? So she had to hurry up and move her kids. So they set up a GoFundMe for her to raise money so she could relocate to a more secure location. So yeah, check that out. But yes, Betty White, to answer your question, they did charge him and everything for the vandalism, but he resigned. And he hasn't been, basically, they say he is like free to work in other locations, not here in our, not here, but I will give you guys more information once I find out more information on that, or give more updates on that. And let's see. He said, oh my God, he wanted her to get frustrated and move out. His hate is deep. Yeah, his hate is deep. We don't know why. And that's what the young black lady was asking him. Why me? Why you do this to me? What have I ever done to you? Because they had no earlier encounters besides one incident where they were walking in together and she noticed that he might be a cop. And so they chit-chatted for a couple of minutes and he was telling her how he likes the neighborhood, he likes the building, but you know, it's some riffraff in the neighborhood because they live close to a homeless shelter called the Francis House, and they also live close to right next to the Francis House is a treatment center for people with alcohol or drug addictions. And so he was like, yeah, but the people who be around here, who be walking around the neighborhood, he was just talking about them real bad. And when she found out he was a cop, she was like, wow, okay, you know, she was kind of shocked to hear him talk about people like that. But then, you know, she just was like, okay. She never thought that was him that was trashing and destroying her car. She didn't even give it one thought until she caught him on videotape.
Crazy.
Crazy. But she said he probably had a crush. Oh no, that wasn't it at all. He was a creep. A true creep. Matter of fact, let me show y'all his picture real quick, and then we're gonna get out of here. I'm gonna show y'all his picture because he is truly like the creep of the creeps. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna show you the picture of him when he was in the hallway, and she was trying to approach him, and he just threw up the deuces on her. Like she's like, "Hold up, you just trashed my car. I got you on camera," and he was just walking away like. What, like, who are you? Like, he didn't even get her not even 5 seconds. Didn't even acknowledge her or the reason why she was trying to stop him. Here he is right here. Let me make him real big so y'all can see this creepy man. That's him. That is him right there. That is Officer William Klees from Omaha, Nebraska, who is not an officer anymore. He's not an officer anymore, but that is the one who was vandalizing and trashing his black female neighbor's vehicle for months. And it has made national news. It got on Roland Martin. But again, shout out to the Hood Table. Shout out to us hoodies. Because again, we was the first one to do the exclusive interview. But yeah, when we did that interview, I said, I hope this reaches all the way as far as it can go because it's despicable. It's just despicable what that officer was doing to her for months. But yeah, that is him. That is him. And what's up, bro? He said, in the tarnation of a situation is going on at 6 something in the morning. People just getting up, get ready for work, and y'all talking already. He said, already. Well, I was going to be on here by myself, bro, but I did drop the link in our group chat. I said, if anybody happens to be restless and want to join me, feel free, even though I know most of y'all probably still asleep. Betty said, look at that mustache. Right. But yeah, so oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I said that's what I was saying. Look at that mustache.
Right. But yeah, we discussed 3 updates today. Actually, we were supposed to be discussing 2 updates today. The murder of DaeTiauna Kellogg out of Omaha, Nebraska, out of my city. We gave you an update on that. We also discussed the Shanquella Robinson murder that happened in Mexico. And while we were live discussing that on Good Morning America, they just announced again that the Mexico police are trying to extradite a female. So a female friend, one of the associates that was with Shanquella during that time when she was murdered, they are looking to extradite her. Hopefully she won't be the only one because like Sislo and I said, and as many of you guys believe, everybody there is responsible. You might not have hit her, you might not have damaged one piece of hair on her head, but she was there recording, somebody was fighting, some of y'all stole her money, her credit cards, and went on a shopping spree. So yeah, I'm hoping that they'll extradite more people because I don't think one person deserves to be charged. More than that deserves to be charged. But on that note, you guys, thanks for tuning in this early AM. Your girl is about to get to work. I got a long day ahead, a little work, and then my grandbaby is coming over tonight. So I hope everybody had a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving. Make sure you guys like and share the video, subscribe to the channel. The links that I dropped in the chat earlier, make sure you subscribe to those people. Again, Sislo, my co-host this morning, she is going to be live this evening on her channel, Miss Newsworthy Updates, Miss Sislo Newsworthy Updates tonight at 7 p.m. discussing some local news from her neck of the woods. So make sure you guys tune in and support her. We'll be over there this evening. Everybody have a wonderful weekend. Thank you, Betty. She said, have a wonderful weekend. And Bro said, getting myself ready for work. Damn hospitality industry, have to try to get on the next one. And that's cool, bro. That's cool. Sis is going live tonight at 7 p.m. So we can join her at 7 p.m. Miss Sislo Newsworthy Updates. So everybody, members, be blessed, stay vigilant, stay safe. Please stay vigilant, you guys, at all times. At all times. Thank you, Mary Carey. You have a good weekend too. And always remember, you guys, to keep it hood. Bye. Later for now. Love you, sis. See you guys later. Like, share, and subscribe. Have a great one, you guys.